Good morning, sports fans, and welcome to the Defining Moment right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. What's going on, y'all? How's everyone doing out there this morning? This is the brand new revamped version of the Defining Moment. We had a taste of it on Monday. Super excited to be back now every Saturday. Started a little bit earlier this morning. It's supposed to be 9 a.m. Pacific time. 12 p.m. Eastern. Like it's been a little bit early this week. Whatever. We're having fun. It's going to be a great show, and we're looking forward to 90 minutes of pure diehard sports action. For those of you who used to enjoy the old version of the Defining Moment back on Spreaker years ago, before life kind of took a turn and made me extremely busy in every facet, it was a lot of fun having so many diehards on and enjoying just the company and sports talk with everybody all the way until I couldn't do it no more. But until now, it is exciting as can be. I'll tell you right now, I'm excited having this going and just talking all these fun sports. Today, of course, we got Daytona Day. That's right, y'all. It came. Super Bowl Sunday came and went. It was a great game. We talked about that on Monday's show. And now it's time for another crown jewel. From one crown jewel to another. Oh, yeah. We're going all the way down south to Daytona. 200 miles an hour. Look at today's title of the show. The Defining Moments at 200 mph. Because, ladies and gentlemen, what's better than 200 miles an hour on one of the most beautiful tracks ever created? Oh yeah, while you're sitting there enjoying yourselves for about 3 hours, neck to neck action. It's Daytona Day, y'all. It's Daytona Day. So, well, that's coming up tomorrow. But we're gonna get started off with that. We got Daryl Kinsey Jr. coming up in just a few moments, joining us. Also, Taryn Rodriguez joins us in a little bit. Long Beach State is looking strong. UCLA, will they be the champs this year? We'll find out. Also, coming up in just a bit, Adam Karnick. Oh, yeah. Surprises in the NHL season? I think the Vancouver Canucks have some explaining to do. But yes, this team is extremely strong. Let's see who's doing what. Also, Davis and Chris joined us in a little bit for his biggest surprises of the NBA season. Talking some college basketball as well. Once again, Caitlin Clark, can we get a gigantic applause for that young woman? All-time leader in NCAA basketball now, in points scored, that is. Boxing today, we got some soccer action. We've got a little freaking lacrosse. How you like that? That's what we do here at the Defining Moment, and I'm so glad to restore this beautiful show. Super excited, y'all. We got NCAA softball and baseball coming up as well today. This is going to be a ball. Hopefully stick around, y'all. Enjoy. You are now listening to the Defining Moment right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen, sports fans all around the world. Just want to say thank you guys again for tuning in, y'all. You are now tuned in live to the defining moment right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. That's right, y'all. Coming to you here live on a beautiful Saturday morning. It is Saturday, February 17th, 2024, and it's been a beautiful year. I'll tell you right now, it's been a great year so far. Enjoyed some awesome football action. Now we're going to transition into some racing. We got baseball now that's here. The NBA season and NHL seasons are heating up. College, the college versions of both those are heating up. This is going to be awesome, man. I'm telling you, men's volleyball just got underway. Actually, no, since January, but it's been a great season so far. Taryn has been all over it, covering everything. That's everything about men's volleyball. Beach volleyball is got underway. Let's go Trojans SC. Let's get it this year. Look, I'm just so excited, but we got so many things to get into. But of course, first today, before we do anything, got to do this really quick because, hey, this is what pays the bills, right? Ladies and gentlemen, big ups to our delicious sponsor. That's right, y'all. Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Delicious premium brisket beef jerky. It is amazing, y'all. Trust me. Gluten-free options. No sodium nitrate. A deliciousness right there, you guys. Low in sugar, high in protein. Amazing jerky, you guys. Head on over to planetjerky.net. Give our sponsor some love, man. Get some jerky. Enjoy some jerky while you're watching this show. While you're listening to any of our shows here, either on StreamYard or on Spreaker, show us love there. Also, head on over to iSportsRadio.com. Check out all the cool stuff on there. You see the schedule. You see all of our shows, all the pages dedicated to all of our shows. Bucks appreciated, y'all. Want one of these bad boys? One of these bad boys right here. iSportsRadio.com/shop. Check us out there. You can follow me, your boy Larry B at the THEE_LB53. Once again, that's at THEE_LB53. Big ups to everybody, and of course, our other sponsor. Big ups to my beautiful wife, lovely Cecilia. We got to get a little banner up here for her and everything. But yes, Seal the Deal wax seal stamps. Awesome little stamp seals to put on the back of your baby shower invitations, wedding invitations, just a letter to a friend. Beautiful little stamps that are awesome. She makes these handmade. Go check her out at Seal the Deal _wax seals on Instagram, also on Seal the Deal wax seals on Facebook. So without further ado, y'all, it's about that time to get on some Daytona action. I hope you're excited, y'all, because I'm ready to grab the wheel and go. Yeah, baby, that's what we do, man. So to do that with me, to help me talk about this awesome race coming up and a little bit more motorsports coming up this week, ladies and gentlemen, of course, welcome me in IE Sports Radio. I'm so happy to actually say this because that man waited for so long to say this too. IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer, of course, and the host of The Extra Mile here, along with Michael Ward and Christopher Lehman. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, and of course, the one, the only, dear friend of mine, and just great person. You don't find great people like these. Oh, yeah, you do. All around IE Sports Radio. And this right here is one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Daryl Kinsey Jr. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm trying to keep my feet tied to the ground after that glowing intro you just gave me. If I'm looking a bit taller in the seat, that's why. And, man, it took me so long to get to that Hall of Fame status, and I'm so happy. Thank you again to everyone that voted that. But, yeah, as you can see, I'm ready for Sunday. Probably going to be Monday at this point. The weather not looking too good. I'm sorry to tell y'all that the weather is not looking too good. But, hey, whether it's Sunday, whether it's Sunday night, whether it's Monday, the Daytona 500 here, and it's probably going to be a darn sight better than what we saw in ARCA and trucks last night.
That was... Okay, well, yeah, hey, if you want to start there, Daryl, I mean, yeah, what the crap? I mean, yeah, I know. ARCA and trucks last night was, that was just a wash.
Yeah. It's hard it's got to the point where there was a lot of discourse online after the race where I think it's time to take the trucks off the super speedways. We had a record number of cautions. There were just a lot of dumb moves that were being made in the pack. And it brought up something to my mind during the race. When we get to Talladega later on this year, after Daytona 500, obviously, and people are starting talking about, well, what the Cup race is so boring. Why are they not going 3 or 4 wide? Show them the races last night. That is exactly why Cup doesn't race like that. the entire time. There were a lot of dumb mistakes in the Truck Series race. Raja Karuth, I love the kid. I interviewed him on this show, on the Extra Mile, during the COVID red flag. He's from DC. He made a bad move on the last lap, tried to go high for a gap that just was not there, tore a lot of race trucks up. I think all but 3 trucks were involved in that wreck. So we get through that, and you're saying, you know, okay, the ARCA race is coming up, 11:30. We know they don't have a lot of money there, and 4 laps in, Gus Dean takes out half the field, including his own teammate, and Tony Breidinger was not happy. I don't know if you saw her interview, but she laid into him, and
Furious.
It was only the first dumb thing he would do that night, because later on the last restart, he tells his teammate, yeah, we'll do the teammate restart. We'll let Jake Finch get in front of me. Doesn't do it. Jake ends up getting wrecked in the purest example of ARCA brakes. Just a bunch of cars piling into a wreck that didn't need to happen. Gus Dean wins the race. A lot of people are not happy. Half of his teammates are torn up. It's just time for trucks and ARCA. They can't run these big tracks. It's a lot of drivers with a lot of inexperience, especially in the Truck Series. We don't have the veterans in the Truck Series that we used to when Todd Bodine ran it, Johnny Benson back in the day, Ron Hornaday, Mike Skinner. That Truck Series is gone. We've got a lot of youth and inexperience, and we are driving at tracks where people can still get hurt. We saw that with Ryan Newman in 2020. People can still get hurt here. And we're not even going to talk about the dumpster fire of ARCA because we only got 20 minutes. It's time to take these series off the super speedways, put them on the smaller tracks where they can succeed. And if they're going to make mistakes, the mistakes aren't as major as what we saw last night, because that was a black eye for the sport. And that's the only racing a lot of people are going to see from now probably till Monday, because I'm looking at the radar right now.
Yeah.
It's just a sea of green over Daytona.
It sucks. I was bummed to start the season off that way. Of course, last night was. You're right. There's no other way to explain it. Dumpster fire. It was horrible. And you're totally right, Daryl. Let's just go to short tracks for these guys. Let's just make it smaller. Let's just because it's true, Daryl. You have to. I don't think people understand, really, Daryl. I really don't. Don't think people who aren't race fans get it. Super speedways requires a skill set that is just above. It really is. And a lot of these youngsters, it's true. It's chaos. You get these guys in here. It's like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I played NASCAR 2021 on PlayStation. You know what I mean, Daryl? Like, no, man. not even the simulators can capture this. You know what I mean? You really have to be experienced in that beast. And it's just a different area code, man. It really is. And but yeah,
you're absolutely right. I mean, a lot of these guys do a lot of sim work, especially with the fact that we did not have a lot of practice down there this week. Final practice for the Daytona 500 was rained out today, to no one's surprise. But it's hard to describe, because obviously I've never driven a race car, just how hard this is. If you've ever watched the onboards, especially with Cup, now they have this beautiful thing with NASCAR Drive, which it is completely free. Watch it whenever we run the Daytona 500. The way these cars are moving in the draft, you could see it with the trucks because they're so heavy, but you think they're just driving in a straight line. They're not. One wrong move, because the car's doing this the entire way down the front stretch, just because of all the air that is whooshing by from driving at 200 miles per hour. It is something that if you are not accustomed to it, you're going to get caught out really fast. So it's just something for the young guys. Let's start them off slow before they get to these big tracks.
Absolutely, Daryl. Couldn't agree more. So
Mhm.
we had last weekend the Clash that
Mhm.
almost got rained out itself, so they decided to just do it on Saturday instead.
Yeah.
Because over here in SoCal, the weather wasn't participating. Now it's completely fine. It's still a little gloomy, but we don't have a lot of rain. So I mean, thank you so much, rain, for almost ruining that. But anyway,
Yeah.
and it only rains like 3 times a year over here, Daryl. And that just happens to be one of them. I mean, seriously, it would happen that way, right? But
Of course, when NASCAR is there, if you have a drought, schedule a NASCAR race.
yeah.
You will get rain.
On the minute, Daryl. But so we have that, man. Of course, that was pretty cool. Denny Hamlin taking it home in the Coliseum, always really cool to see. Then we have here the duels, of course. You pre-recorded this week. Awesome show as always, man. Really, really, really great show. But Daryl, you got into the duels, of course, and you were talking all about Daytona this week. So, of course, the winner of the first one, Tyler Reddick. Then, of course, we have here the second one, Christopher Bell. Those were on Thursdays. Pretty good, not bad. It was good racing. I'm really, really happy to see it back on there. Happy as can be. And then you're right. Last night was just erased everything good that happened. So let's just hope that
Let me bring it positive for now because I was kind of negative at the start. Let's talk about just how good those duels were.
Oh, they were
Like
awesome.
that was incredible racing, and if that is what the Daytona 500 is going to look like, again, whenever we get started, it's going to be an all-timer. You had the cars side by side for the majority of both duels, and we didn't really have a lot of chaos. Now, that second duel, we did see an issue where we did have a big wreck. Unfortunately, Kyle
Yes.
Busch ended up getting turned and caused calamity, but that's unfortunately what happens at these tracks when you are not minding the bumps. You have to have your spotter looking not one car in front of you, 2 or 3 cars in front of you. And unfortunately, Brad Keselowski got caught out, caused an accordion. That caused a big wreck. But the races to the end were both so fun. And if you're a Toyota fan, which obviously I am, you were really down on Wednesday because your top qualifier was 12th, but they raced really well with the new Camry on Thursday. Toyota was the tops in speed in what ended up being our only practice on Friday. So if you are a fan of a Toyota, you're really excited. Ford, on the other hand, look, they've got great qualifying pace. They've got great top end speed, but I think that is a negative for them because now everybody knows we got to split those Fords up. And
Oh
you
yeah.
saw both duels, they did not let the Fords hook up for very long. They got them up and out of there. The Toyotas and the Chevys, they kind of had a gentleman's agreement to work together. It's a chess match between manufacturers that these races have become. And I think the problem with Ford is that they showed their hand too early during qualifying. So now everybody knows if it's a Ford, get it out of there
Get it out
because
of
they're going
there.
to just dominate.
No, 100%. Joe. I mean, isn't it crazy when you see that, man? I mean, the sheer domination of certain cars. I mean, it's crazy when you see it. But Daryl, look, man, we're so close to get another season.
Mhm.
NASCAR, one of the longest going seasons of any sport at all, because I mean, these guys started February. Daryl, it's over in November, right before Thanksgiving. You get what, a month off for Christmas, and it's basically, I mean, we're right back in the seat coming up, basically for a lot of them in January, because guess what? We're starting to get back. It's like when pitchers and catchers report, right? I mean, you know what I mean? All these guys are getting ready to get back in the groove of this. And then guess what? Of all times, the Rolex, of course, takes place. So some of these guys want to jump in the seat of one of those, and there they go. So it's like, really, man. I mean, they get a month off a year, really. I mean, I get it, all the traveling, and there are weeks that we don't race, but here it comes, man. This is the kickoff. This is what we all wait for. I mean, Daytona 500. I mean, my gosh, Daryl, yesterday on the Sports Club Perspectives with Cecilia, dude, we look at this day in history, of course, and a lot of Daytona is on right now, this day in history. And last night, it just came up, the one where Dale Earnhardt Sr. Lost it on fuel mileage, and then his engine blew. Daryl, I mean, just the endings of some of these 500s, or the wall trip one was also last night where he won because it got rained out. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, we've had some stories, man, in this race.
I mean, we've had so many great stories. I mean, 2004, there was not a dry eye in the house. Dale Earnhardt Jr., 3 years after his father passes away, comes and wins that race. Upside Down and On Fire a couple of years later, where it's Mark Martin, who's never won the Daytona 500, gets snipped at the line with Kevin Harvick as there's just chaos breaking out behind them. If they ever make Days of Thunder 2, that is going to be the finish they emulate for the Daytona 500, because that just emulated the checkers or wreckers philosophy when it comes to this race. 2005, Jeff Gordon winning his third Daytona 500. We had the Martin Truex Jr. versus Denny Hamlin in recent years, closest Daytona 500 finish in history. And even going back even before Dale Earnhardt Sr., you have Hendrick Motorsports 1, 2, 3 in the Daytona 500. The Allisons racing together and winning, going 1, 2 in the Daytona 500. Yarborough and Petty coming together, smashing together at the line. The two cars absolutely destroyed coming across the line. You see Richard Petty's crew running out there, trying in vain to push that car across, which that would not have counted, by the way, because in the last lap, you have to cross under your own power. And of course, the classic that everyone remembers of the modern era, and there's a fight at the end of the Daytona 500.
I know it's when this is.
Yeah, the 1979 Daytona 500 finish, which will live in honor as the race that really brought NASCAR into the public perception of a sport, which is now grown to the number 2 sport in America, right behind the juggernaut that is the NFL. The Daytona 500, even from going back to the beach, Daytona has been a huge part of how stock car racing in America has grown. And every February we bring the industry together. We celebrate the start of the year with our Super Bowl, and it's a race that no one is going to forget no matter what happens.
No, and that is pure beauty. Daryl, we only got a few minutes left, but brother, I'm just telling you, man, we have ourselves what should be an amazing 500 all set up. We got our pole sitter. We got everything ready to roll. Nearest the win is back. I'm participating full speed this year because I'm not letting anything get in the way of my crazy career and everything. As you can see, I'm doing this show again, Daryl. So things are smoothing out a little bit, which is nice. Yeah. So we're getting back to the glory days of the show as well. So Daryl, talk to us, man. Who you picking? Why you picking them? What kind of 500 are you looking for? I mean, Monday, I don't care when the day is. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a great race no matter what. What are you thinking for this 500?
Well, first, if we're looking at timing, going by the weather, it's either going to be a Sunday night Daytona 500 or a Monday afternoon. Now, Monday is a lot better when it comes to weather. So if NASCAR cannot find a window in the evening, which unfortunately, and I'm looking at the Weather Channel, your weather app may vary, 90% chance of rain or worse from about 6 a.m. to about 8 p.m. So more than likely probably going to be a Monday race, but I got to go with the guy. Bubba Wallace has been so close to this race so many times. He's finished second twice. He's also been in position where unfortunately things just didn't go his way. I think this is the year they put it all together, and that 23 in Black History Month is going to win the Daytona 500.
Daryl, I just turned 35. You said a birthday right before mine. Your birthday is 2 weeks almost to the date. I was always on your show, okay, on the Extra Mile on my birthday, okay, on February 1st. It was a fun segment. I had the family over here waiting in the front room because I was like, I gotta do this over here. All right, real quick, Daryl. We talked about how awesome this is, at least for me. Some people may not like it. I don't care. Lewis Hamilton coming over Ferrari. I'm so excited.
I can't wait. I thought that was an Onion article when I saw it at the first. That's how I'm like, no way. And then I saw that motorsports.com reported. I'm like, wait a minute. And I just kind of sat up. I'm like, this is actually happening. Now, I don't know.
Exactly.
This is what happens when you don't, on the Mercedes side, you don't cherish what you have. They were so concerned about whether or not Lewis was going to retire. They only gave him a 1-year contract with a driver option for next year. Somebody at Ferrari found that out, and they picked up the phone. They gave Lewis a 2-year, $100 million deal. ambassadorship that he wants, everything he wants to do with furthering women in sports, Ferrari is down with. And here's how important Lewis Hamilton was to Ferrari. Their share price went up 6% when this got signed. Like this was a money mover for Ferrari. Ferrari's wanted Lewis for years. Lewis has always talked about wanting to race at Ferrari at some point. If he gets a championship with McLaren, Mercedes, and Ferrari, he's already the GOAT now. It's completely undisputed at that point. But
undisputed.
Daryl,
I'll tell you, that was the first big thing for racing for me. Okay. I mean, the Rolex was amazing. It was always a great gift. Castro Neves, he's retired. So it's hard for me to not have a driver, to get to cheer for, but I still loved the race. I enjoyed every moment of it. So I got some cool stuff already. Okay. Lots of neat things in motorsports. This year, unfortunately, California is like dead. So, I'm not going to bring that up anymore. But, so that's the Western Swing minus California Raceway and Fontana, which kills me. But so many good things are happening, Daryl. And I've been waiting to save this one. And I'm just so happy you're here this morning because you better believe it, Daryl. I'm going Bubba Wallace, baby. Let's get it. I want this so bad. I want this. He deserves this, man, because this has nothing to do with nothing. None of that nonsense. Oh, all the craziness when it goes into politics and people talk about this and race. No, the man, I'll tell you what. You know what race he is, Daryl? He's black, white, checkered. That's what he is. With first place, he's gold in my opinion, okay? Because that cup that he's going to hold up, all right, I mean, it's not gold. I know it's like black and silverish. But what I'm saying is that is everything. Because you know what? He's worked so hard. This man, as a person, as a driver, he's worked so hard in every facet. And I love this guy, man. So I am pulling for him. I'm so excited, and I want to see Bubba Wallace win this damn thing because you know what? As a driver, as a man, as a person, he wins in every category, Daryl. So it's about time he wins that Daytona 500 as well. That's what I got to say about this.
Yeah, it'll be a great Monday when he wins it because unfortunately, Brad Panovich, he's a chief meteorologist in the Charlotte area, just posted a 48-hour predictor for the Daytona area. We're racing on Monday. Yeah.
Well, hey, at least I got the week off. We got the week off this week. Teach your life. So hey, I get to enjoy the race.
Hey, I got Monday off too. I'm a government employee now, so I'm good to go.
Me too. Well, state, but yes, Daryl,
it counts.
It counts, brother. So look, man, we got our this is kind of funny. I like doing this. We got our third musketeer getting ready to roll here in a few seconds. So Daryl, let everybody know, man, as we transition from the awesomeness, the chaos on the asphalt to the chaos on the ice, because that's exactly what hockey is. Daryl, please let all these diehards know, brother, where they can find you, man. Of course, we can find the show, all that good stuff, man. And thanks again for being here this morning.
Of course. Hey, you can catch us at Extra Mile IESR on Twitter. We're also going to get the TikTok back rolling. So Extra Mile Podcast on there. Also, I'm at DK Junior 12. Plenty of snark during the races, especially last night where some folks decided to be idiots. But hey, it is what it is. Larry, thank you so much. Cannot wait for the Daytona 500. This is going to be so exciting. Can't wait,
man. I cannot wait either. Thanks again for sharing your time this morning, man. You're awesome. I'm loving the fire suit, man. You saw Adam give you a comment on that a little bit ago. That was pretty cool. But thanks again, brother, for everything, man. I'm going to be tweeting with you on that race. Let's go, Bubba Wallace. Let's get this going, man. And look forward to just more awesomeness on the extra mile coming up, man. Thanks again, brother.
All right. Thank you so much. You guys have a good one.
Take care, brother. You too, man. All righty. Well, there it is, man. Like I said, from one chaotic sport to another, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming, of course, he is. We went from one IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer. I can't believe I'm one now. I guess feels great. To a man who's been in the freaking finals basically the last 3 years running. He's going to get in one of these years. Ladies and gentlemen, he, of course, is diehard hockey fan, our hockey expert here at IE Sports Radio. Of course, the host of not only Chi-Town Weekly that he does on Mondays, but he hosts a little show called The Neutral Zone along with Zachary Puplis on Tuesday evenings, and they talk the best freaking hockey you will hear. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, of course, Mr. Adam Karnick. How's it going, brother?
Doing well. How are you today, Larry?
Oh, I'm doing as best as I can, man. I'm just enjoying the day, man, enjoying life and just doing it, man. I know you're headed out in just a few minutes, which is pretty cool, man. Gonna enjoy the day. I couldn't believe when I messaged you this morning, you said you weren't working. I've never heard of Adam not working on Saturday. It's crazy.
It's a rare occasion where you caught me for 10 minutes where I was exhaling. So
Well, Adam, it's great to have you here today, man. And thanks again for jumping on for, like I said, about 10, 15 minutes. So really quick, man, the NHL season is absolutely nuts right now. The Ducks are looking like crap as per usual. So we're going to skip that, but you have the Wild and the Blackhawks just trying to figure out what hockey is. I don't think they actually understand what it is. You have I don't think they understand the concept of putting the goal in the net. It's just crazy. But so you have that happening. You have are the Lightning going to surge here or there? Oh yeah, and there's this team from Vancouver that's absolutely destroying everybody that looks really good out of nowhere. And oh yeah, the Bruins. Forgot about those guys who just just dismantle everyone, but let's hope they don't fall apart in the first round of the playoffs again. Anyway.
that's the Boston. It's after last season where they ran roughshod through the regular season, and it was the Bruins should be on their way to the Stanley Cup final, only to get knocked out in the first round. Everyone's kind of on, all right, I've seen this before. Wake me when we get to the playoffs, then we'll decide if Boston's any good or not. So the Bruins are definitely. They have earned some ire with everybody, some very healthy disrespect there for the Bruins right now. The Duck, it's funny. Tuesday night when we do the neutral zone, Zach and I we do our regular wrap around all around the league, keeping up with all the games going on, and it was just a rough night in not just Anaheim, but it was a rough night in all of SoCal for the NHL that night. You had both teams in action, and both teams got shut out. It was the Ducks. The Ducks only lost 5-0, and that was the better of the two games. You had the Kings give up a touchdown, so it was a rough one. It was a rough one there in SoCal the other night, but.
That was a good one, man. That was a good one. No, I love it. I try to tell y'all the Bruins could turn to a pumpkin playoff time, and they did. But yeah, big ups, of course, Ralph here. Somebody who knows about snow and ice. I mean, Ralph's over here in New York, man. So tuning in, shoveling snow, having a great show. You guys look great.
I saw that picture that Ralph put out there. That looks wonderful and amazing, and I'm glad it's there and not here.
Right? Exactly, right? It can be beautiful over there. Not here. So yeah.
Exactly.
So Adam, let's get into it, man. So Tuesday night was a horrible night in SoCal for hockey. But look, this week, I mean, it's kind of crazy, man. They're playing soon, by the way. The Freeway Series is coming up. The freeway face-off coming up in about a week or so. So, we're hoping that we can do something. And then, of course, Cecilia and I are going to go see the Devils versus the Ducks. And, let's just hope that it's not a big fat goose egg again. But regardless of all of that stuff, Adam, talk to us, man. Who are your biggest surprises right now in the NHL season, your biggest letdowns? I mean, we're already halfway through. We passed the All-Star break, and we're going full speed, man. This is it. Next stop, playoffs. And we're going hard right now. And what do you got?
Yeah, we're through the All-Star break. We've got the trade deadline is coming up here in just a little under a month. The NHL does its trade deadline so late, with basically 5 weeks to go in the regular season is when they post it. So you've got teams that are starting to make their push, starting to figure out whether or not they want to buy, sell, who's going to be looking up there. So we're going to be taking some closer looks at that here in the coming days. The Vancouver Canucks still, to me, are just a gigantic surprise. Such a young team that is come together so well. They have a 12-point lead on the Pacific Division right now in front of the Las Vegas Golden Knights and the Edmonton Oilers. I'm still trying to piece together and figure out how these guys have jumped so much so quickly. It's fascinating to watch them. I'm very curious to see what could happen there come playoff time, assuming they hold on and make it, which right now, no reason to think they wouldn't. Edmonton has also been a huge roller coaster this season. The Oilers started the trend of let's get rid of the head coach midseason. We have now had 6 coaches get fired midstream this year in the NHL. And really, I almost feel like you can thank the Oilers for that because they got rid of their head coach and the winning streak started almost instantaneously after that. They then just basically went on a tear where they could not lose. They finally, the Vegas Golden Knights first game out of the All-Star break finally ended that streak, but Edmonton has come soaring back into competition now. So you've got a really tight Pacific Division. The Central Division is looking good with the Stars, and then of course the East is just both divisions out east are looking really strong. You've got 2 fantastic games this weekend with the Stadium Series going on. Philly and New Jersey tonight at MetLife Stadium. That is for a playoff spot right now in the Metro. You've got the 3rd and 4th place teams duking it out. So that is 3rd place, of course, is where you want to be because then you know you're in. 4th place is when you're falling into the wild card shenanigans. You could be in, you could be out. You want to be in control of your own destiny. So big one there tonight out at MetLife Stadium, and then the Islanders and the Rangers tomorrow afternoon at MetLife Stadium. So some great outdoor hockey to be watching this weekend.
That's going to be fun, man. Islanders and Rangers, it's a rivalry. You got to enjoy it. And Flyers and Devils, that should be a pretty good game as well. That's what I'm telling you, man. Look, look, Adam, I hate all my teams because they suck. But I'll tell you, I don't care. The Raiders won the Super Bowl this year on Christmas, beating the Chiefs. I don't care. Super Bowl right there, Super Bowl 58. Yeah. Okay. And if the Ducks beat the Devils on March 1st when Cecilia and I go for education, what is it called? Appreciation night. That's our Stanley Cup Game 7. So hopefully because look at the teams who were in there in the Stadium Series. They're all playing for playoffs.
Yeah, they scheduled that well this year. And, for the Ducks, they did beat Vegas pretty handily here a few weeks back. So, that they can every now and again, you can't sleep on the Ducks. They can occasionally run into one.
Oh, it's true. Right. But this is pretty funny. Jen B in the chat room saying, she said the Blue Jackets play the Sharks tonight. So you're telling me there's a chance.
You want to talk about teams that have forgotten how to play hockey? Let me introduce you to the San Jose Sharks. That is a whole other level of awfulness going up there, up in the northern part there of California with the Sharks. That is a terrifyingly awful brand of hockey that the Sharks are putting out there. So yes, absolutely, Blue Jackets should absolutely do well tonight. Adam Fantilli or no Adam Fantilli, they should look excellent out there with the Blue Jackets tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would hope they would get a nice little victory there. But so real quick, man. So you have to say your biggest surprise of right now. I mean, is it Vancouver? Because to me, that's my biggest surprise.
Yes. Yes, yeah, the Vancouver. I'm planning on either this week or next week just going into how did they get here? Why did they get here? And how do they sustain this with the Canucks? Because this was a team I was thinking for the Canucks that maybe they'd be sniffing the playoffs, but more likely more towards the bottom of the Pacific and to not only be solidly in the playoffs, to have a 12-point lead on top of that division. I am very surprised by Vancouver, very pleasantly surprised. I hope to see some good things from them. So, yeah, that's the biggest surprise.
No, I'm with you. I think it's so cool seeing these guys there because why not, right? It's so neat when you see these teams. So with that said, I know we only got a couple minutes here because I know you got a busy day out and you're going to enjoy it with the family, man. That is so cool. And congratulations to you, by the way, for breaking away the chains of work, man. Bravo to you, good sir. But so really quick, I know you guys do this every now and then. On the neutral zone, but coming up, man, I mean, we're not too far from the tournament, man. The Frozen Four tournament's coming up here. We're looking forward to some great hockey, college hockey. But real quick, man, looking at some of the goods here in college hockey, man, we start with the men's. I mean, my goodness, Boston College and Boston University have been breakouts this year, man. You have seen some amazing hockey from those two teams, and it's quite exciting, honestly, to see those two up there. But at the moment, right now, I mean, who are you liking this year? I mean, I like this a little early Frozen Four, but I mean, who are you liking right now? Who do you think could be those four teams, or at least around the Frozen Four?
If it's a hockey school in Boston, they're going to be in, whether it's Boston U or the other schools in the area. Yeah, absolutely. Boston College, Boston U has been playing some terrific hockey out east. Some strong teams there. I'll give some shout outs and props and love to my co-host's alma mater, Michigan State. Has slowly been climbing the rankings the last couple weeks. They're all the way up to 6. Don't be surprised if Sparty is able to do. Obviously, so much with these tournaments. You're so dependent upon the draw and who you wind up facing, what your path winds up being. But don't be surprised if Sparty makes a surprise entrance into the Frozen Four. They've got the pedigree, they've got the history, a lot of history there with that program. A sleeper for me into the Frozen Four. But your Boston schools right now, absolutely. That's where you'd be expecting the title to come this year right now. But there's still plenty of time. The top 4 or 5, the top 4 hasn't seen a ton of fluctuation the last couple weeks, but everything from 5 on down has been very volatile in men's college hockey this year. So there should be a surprise or two in the tournament. Wouldn't shock me at all.
No, completely agree. And you got to love those, right? I mean, looking right now at like the current top 5, of course, Boston College, North Dakota, Boston University, Wisconsin, and Denver. And then going over to the women, man, Wisconsin has been dethroned by Ohio State, man. Those ladies are 26-2 right now, man. They're leading, of course, Wisconsin in number 2, Clarkson number 3, Colgate number 4, Minnesota number 5. But how about that, man? Ohio State, the ladies came out of nowhere.
Oh, Ohio State is looking like one of the most complete teams you'll find in college hockey. They can score, they can defend. They've got a goalie that will make sure that the puck does not get in behind her. Ohio State is as complete of a team as you'll find. And on the women's side, you can stack them up. There was one change in the entire rankings, not just what teams were in it, but literally only one school moved position, and that was at 14. You had a team jump in that wasn't ranked last week, jump into 14, but otherwise the top 13 remained the same and 15 remained the same. It's been a very steady college hockey season on the women's side, and the Big Ten has so much to just be proud of there with Ohio State and Wisconsin. I would be stunned if that's not the final as we get closer for the women's Frozen Four tournament. I'd be stunned if it's anything other than Ohio State versus Wisconsin.
Right? I mean, it's a collision course. You know what's going to happen. So I'm excited for that. But Adam, man, I know, of course, we're running out of time here. So look, man, I'm so happy to have had you here today. That was a lot of fun hockey talk. Look forward to having you back here on the coming weeks, man, talking hockey, especially getting closer to the Frozen Four, getting closer to the playoffs in the NHL. It's always a pleasure having you, man. So, as you make your exit here today, because I don't want to make you late for any family stuff, brother, but let all these diehards know, man, where can they find you?
Absolutely. I am still on Twitter or X, whatever name you christen it these days, at Adam_Karnik is my personal. I also am the co-host of the Neutral Zone at IESR Neutral Zone, or I'm also the host of Chi-Town Weekly, Monday evenings on IE Sports Radio at IESRC. I will be Cardard made his unexpected return Thursday night, so there will be some gushing on that stage on Monday evening with the return of the teenage phenom to Chicago.
I just gotta say, I don't want to keep you any longer because I know you got to head out, Adam. But the gushing on Monday night was you said it. You said if you want to hear a man gush over an athlete on Chi-Town Weekly, tune in, and boy, you didn't hold back.
Yeah, Devin Hester is he holds a special place in any fan of Chicago sports heart, and to see him make the Hall of Fame, that was a lot of fun. That was very special. You've never heard anybody giggle. You never hear grown men giggle when watching sports until you turn on Devin Hester highlights, and you just the smiles and the laughter as he made professional athletes look silly. Minnesota Vikings punter Chris Kluwe probably still has nightmares of having to punt to him from back in the day.
No, 100% agree, man. It has been, my goodness, his career was amazing there, and it's just seeing him make the Hall of Fame is awesome. Big ups, by the way, on Instagram, because we're live on Instagram too. Big ups to Mr. Ben Wright, Sports Done Right, man, says here, what's up from Minnesota? Of course, he's a Minnesota guy, you know. So he says, my Gopher team lost big to Notre Dame. They did. Kind of a bummer there for those guys, but we're all over the place, man. Adam Carney, by the way, I know we're getting close to going overtime here. Adam, you do have do you want to announce the announcement for the show, or do you want to save that for your show?
We'll be doing a much more formal a little bit later, but just to kind of tease to everybody right now, the Neutral Zone will be making a move. Still on IE Sports Radio, but we are going to be getting a bit more visual here in the coming weeks. I'll tease it like that. I'll leave it like that. We've got some details to iron out, some work to do, but we will be becoming a bit more visual here in the coming weeks.
It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited, man. But of course, right here, big ups, well deserved for Hester, of course, and Ohio State killing it. Hockey, baseball, basketball. Of course, we get it. OHIO. I mean, this is how it goes. So, Adam, you've been awesome, but thank you so much for spending time here with us this morning, man. And thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, man. I look forward to having you back here on the show, like as many Saturdays as we can get you every year.
Absolutely, Larry. You know where to find me.
Appreciate you, brother, man. Have a great day, man. Enjoy your stuff. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds great.
Take care, brother. All righty. Adam Karnick once again, man. Got to show him some love, man. It's been a great show so far. And I don't know, Terry. That's a good question down there in that little box. Neutral Zone on StreamYard? I don't know. But big ups to everybody for tuning in, man. Once again, Vince Wright, man. Got to show some love to that guy, man. Awesome dude tuning in over there on Instagram. Yeah, just in case you guys don't know, man, we're all over the place right now. Yeah, StreamYard, baby. That's how it goes. We're on Facebook right now, on the IE Sports Radio Facebook. We are on the IE Sports Radio Instagram. We are on the IE Sports Radio YouTube. We are on the IE Sports Radio X account. We are on my personal X account because why not? I mean, we're all over the place, y'all. So if you're tuning in, we appreciate you all for being here. Thank you all so very much for tuning in. And we're taking ourselves a short break. When we get back, we got our boy Davison Crooks coming to talk some college hoops and some NBA action. You are listening to the defining moment right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back talking some basketball after this.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the defining moment right here on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Well, we're doing it, y'all. We're getting it. We're going through the show today, enjoying it, man. It's been a fun one. Once again, big ups to our guests today, man. So far, it's been awesome. Of course, starting things off with Mr. Daryl Kinsey Jr., talking some NASCAR, Daytona 500 action getting underway. Then Adam Karnick talked some hockey, man. I mean, we're just all over the place. We're getting back to what the defining moment used to be, and I'm just so happy because, well, this is what the show once was, and we're getting back to it even better this time because guess what? We're visual now, baby. Let's go. So, wherever you're tuning in, we appreciate you all so very much. As always, y'all, if you're just tuning in right now, we thank you so very much. As always say, all glory to God. Without him, nothing is possible. And of course, without you guys out there, IU Sports Radio is not possible. We appreciate you all so very much for making this network right here what it is, man. And another one who has made this network his and what it is, ladies and gentlemen, he, of course, is. I want to have a fast break here on IU Sports Radio. And just overall, man, diehard sports fan. The guy is amazing. He has a great podcast he does called The Crooks Process. And, of course, he is just a dude that you want to follow for anything sports. His opinions are strong, and he has some great takes. Glad to have him here talk some college hoops and some NBA, ladies and gentlemen. Davidson Crooks, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing, Larry?
I'm alive and well, brother. Better than I deserve. Happy as can be, man, and just enjoying this Saturday morning talking some sports with all you guys, man. It's just so nice to see all y'all, man.
I hear you.
Feel you, brother. So, Davidson, brother, wow. The NBA season has been something else. If you're a Lakers fan, you just kind of want to throw a remote through the TV sometimes. But if you're a Boston fan, you want to jump for joy and celebrate, unless it was February 1st, my birthday. I don't care. I'm gonna live with that.
Yeah.
Look, I don't even care. Chiefs lost to the Raiders on Christmas Day, Super Bowl 58. Raiders right there. Whoop, whoop, what's up? I don't care. Nope, don't even care. That's my Super Bowl. If the Ducks beat the Devils on the 1st of March, Stanley Cup Ducks right there. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, let's get it. Okay, and look, Lakers beating the Celtics on my birthday. The NBA Finals Game 7. Whoop, whoop. Look, I don't care, bro. Look, when you're a fan of horrible teams, you just got to cling to what you get.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So look, man, Davidson, talk to us, brother. This has been a fun NBA season, man. You have the Boston Celtics terrorizing everybody right now. You have the Nuggets not looking so nuggety at the moment, which is a little, I don't know. They're up and down. You have, who are the Timberwolves? Who are they? Because I don't know who they are, and they just came up and were like, "Hello, we're the Timberwolves, and we're gonna just take over the West." I mean, it's been crazy. Davidson, talk to us, man. I know every Sunday, man, you have an amazing show here on IE Sports Radio. Of course, Fast Break. It has been so much fun listening to you guys over the years, man. Your guys' takes are awesome. You've done shows, just in case y'all don't know, man. These guys have done shows. They did a show one year that was because Dontarius couldn't be there. I think at a certain time, bro, they did a freaking show that went on to like 1 a.m. their time, talking about the draft one summer. I mean, these guys are diehards, man. You guys are awesome. Davidson, talk to us, brother. Biggest surprises, biggest letdowns of the NBA season so far.
I think, look at this NBA season, and as we do our season preview show, we talk about for some of y'all who will catch this live or the playback, we do the season preview show that we go by each division and go from 5 to 1, who's to be the worst and to the best. Mm-hmm. And, surprises to me, were the Minnesota Timberwolves and the OKC Thunder. Both of these two are two young teams that just been sitting on top of the West for the good majority of the season. And I didn't think, especially for OKC, because I thought maybe at least another year or two away when some of these guys develop all that stuff. But they're there now. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander playing well. Chet Holmgren, even though he had the injury back last summer at the Pro-Am, you see with the year of maturity and stuff like that, he's playing well. Guys like Jelly Williams and stuff like that. Everybody's playing well. Then you look at Minnesota, who I didn't expect. I expect them to be decent, but I didn't expect them to be like top of the West, like where we're at now in the All-Star break. Anthony Edwards should be considered MVP voting. Karl-Anthony Towns, I think he kind of, I think we kind of passed him trying to be like the guy on the team. Some of us, like including me, I was like, maybe this guy could be the guy, but we kind of passed that. Anthony Edwards is that dude now for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And wherever this happened to stuff with Gobert from last year, I think that's kind of behind them. And now they're playing great team ball as a whole. Mike Conley there as a stabilizer at point guard, which you didn't have, until you traded for him back in February last year. This is a good solid all-around team. The bench is solid. Nas Reese is solid off the bench as a big man. So you got a nice, well-gelled together team that I didn't expect to be top of the West. I thought maybe like this Denver will go back to the championship, but I think Denver man has competition. With continuing against OKC, Minnesota, the Clippers. Kawhi's healthy, and I think that's going to be a dangerous component come playoff time because Kawhi, when healthy, to me, he's one of the top 10 players in the NBA. Let's be honest about that. And I think the past few years, as we've seen, the leg injuries, it's kind of really slowed him down. So it's going to be a real fight in the NBA. Who's going to, we're at this point, who's going to make it to the playoffs? Who's going to make it to the championship and all that stuff. It's going to be a real fight. It'll be real interesting to see, who comes out, come June, who's going to be playing in between coming out the East and coming out the West. But I'm real interested to see who's going to come out, when all said and done, because it's got a lot of compelling parts to it.
It's the truth, Davidson. Great analysis, man. See, this is why we got Davidson and Dontarius, man. These guys will give you so many knowledge beyond belief in basketball, man. I love it. Look, bro, I'm with you. I cannot believe right now what we're seeing from Minnesota. But you know what, man? It's good. The other day on our new Minnesota show here on IE Sports Radio, we had the Scully Teller, and man, they were really going off on like saying how like they're not surprised, but this is definitely a surprising moment for them. I mean, they haven't been this good since 2003.
I mean, I say if Minnesota fans, I mean, it on the face, I mean, they probably will say they're not surprised, but they couldn't expect this though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you look at the preseason, okay, Denver bringing the whole starting lineup back, all that good stuff. Okay, you got them there. All right. If the Clippers and Lakers brought everybody back that had the second half of the run last season. The Clippers, if Kawhi Leonard's healthy, you got that right there. What healthy Kyrie and Luka is going to do with Dallas. At one point, last season, when Zion was healthy, the Pelicans were top of the West last year. So there's a lot of teams right there I just listed off. Sacramento was a surprise last year.
Oh, yeah.
So all those teams I just listed off right there, I had them ahead of the Timberwolves. And, look where we're at now in the All-Star break. They're top of the West.
Isn't it crazy? I mean, look, right now, man. I mean, okay. I know it's not, people are freaking out right now talking about, the Nuggets ain't going to do nothing. They're down to number 4. They ain't going to do nothing. They ain't going to do nothing. Okay. Straighten this out for everybody real quick, Davidson. The Denver Nuggets are still potent, man.
Oh, yeah.
They're still very good. I mean, I think everyone needs to cut it out with the whole, there's no chance of repeat, whatever. Because honestly, man, this team, they're still amazingly talented. And I still think they're going to make a deep run this year in the playoffs. I mean, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think if you're a Denver fan, I mean, don't sweat it. I mean, Jamal Murray missed a good amount of time of games, KCP as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you know you still got Jokic there. Even with him there, things have been afloat. So don't fret on that if you're a Nuggets fan. The guys getting back healthy and all that stuff. So I think once they get back full health on that stuff, the second half, we can see him making a push and all that. But if you're Denver fan, don't sweat that too much.
No, I'm totally with you, man. So, a couple questions for you, man, because I did say on Monday's show that I was going to ask you a couple of these questions, man. So, first things first, I'm seeing a lot of, I wouldn't call it hate, but I'm calling it like they're just not confident, I guess, in this team. But do you really think, they know they've been up and down this year, but will the Dallas Mavericks miss the playoffs? And even if they do miss the playoff, and they happen to play in the play-in tournament, is that the end of the road? Because they're so up and down, man. And you got to be realistic. The Dallas Mavericks, man, they're hot, they're cold, they're hot, they're cold. They can't find any consistency. Luka goes off every now and then and does something incredible, all right, like throwing up a ton of points or whatever. But right now, the overall story is just, do you really feel confident in this team? Because especially around X, man, I see people just crapping on this team, and I'm like, they're talented, man, and I think it'll surprise everybody if they make a deep run. But what do you think it is right now with this team, man? What do you think it is with Dallas? What do they got to do to get right?
I think for me, it's a little bit of coaching, in my opinion. I think at times, with Kyrie and Luka, excellent ball hands, some of the best ball hands in the NBA, or maybe in the world right now. But I think at times, as we've seen with Luka before we got Kyrie, a lot of dribbling down to the shot clock until he does something with the ball. Unless the flow of the game is different, meaning like somebody else is hot or whatever, you passing and moving all that stuff. But at times it's like too much dribbling, then Luka trying to decide to do something, shoot, pass, or whatever, or take some off the dribble. Yeah, I think with Kyrie in the phone never got any ball in the hand. You dribbling, pick a roll on, setting screens, all that stuff. I think at times the ball movement kind of lacks in that department with the Mavericks. Yeah, the trade deadline, they did trade for PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford. PJ, will help with that stretch 4 spot. Gafford down low. So to give these guys a little bit more open looks, I think that they're stepping in the right direction. Mm-hmm. I just think it's more of a coaching thing. Like, if Jason Kidd, who should know this, as kind of like a pass first point guard, kind of like, get things flowing, get the offense flowing a little bit better. Don't let these guys dribble all that stuff. If the situation comes to it, hey, fine, cool. But sometimes, you got the shooters, you got kind of getting the athletes there. Get like kind of the motion offense moving a little bit forward,
Right. There's some tightening up that needs to be done. It's the truth.
Tighten up
with Dallas right now, man. So another question for you, brother, and this one's a tough one. Okay, because I seen this the other day on a news article, and I was like, "Whoa, those are big words." Okay, you know as well as I do, Davison, the word dynasty loves to find its place thrown around all sports when there's a team who gets real hot. Right now, we're talking about that with the Chiefs. The Chiefs dynasty. I think they are, because they're doing their thing. We have the Patriots dynasty. We get that. We have a true dynasty. The Lakers three-peating in the early 2000s. You can't. That's about as dynasty gets. Oh, and I'm sorry. Back in the 60s, where the Celtics did that incredible 8-peat. Okay, that's a dynasty with the late great Bill Russell. Okay, those are dynasties. But some people, of course, like to call, and there was no doubt there was a dynasty along with like some sprinkled in Cavs, going back and forth with the Warriors and Cavs in the 2010s. But Davison, I saw it the other day, man, where it says, "Is the Warriors dynasty over?" And I was like, "Oh, this is a tough one, man. You still got Curry, that you still got some key players." But let's just be real. Sometimes they're just not looking like that team anymore. Davison, number one thing, is the dynasty quote unquote over? What's going on with that team? And do you seriously feel like this is the time they just kind of nosedive and fade off until they come back up one day again? I mean, what do you think?
I've been on this horse for a good while on the Warriors. If y'all listen to this show or listen to our takes on X/Twitter, I'll be on this horse for a little while. My beliefs with the Warriors is like when Steve Kerr came in, he came into a nice situation. And at that point, you know, you got Steph Curry, you know, developed nicely. Klay Thompson developed nicely. You know, a young Draymond. And then you have your pieces here and there with the veterans like David Lee and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Now you kind of fast forward, you know, Curry, future Hall of Famer, Klay Thompson, future Hall of Famer, you know, other guys you brought in over the years to help with that dynasty, Andre Iguodala, and so forth, Kevin Durant, so forth. I'll be on this bumper on like this on the Warriors that they had a chance to kind of do like a 2 timeline type of deal. And when the past couple years ago, you know, they had the 3 lottery picks, which turned to James Wiseman, Moses Moody, and Jonathan Kuminga. Seems like out of all 3 of those guys, Kuminga may be the only one that may be sticking. Even though there's been frustrations from his camp and Moses Moody's camp about their playing time. Wiseman's gone. You know, granted, he had the injury and stuff like that, but it seemed like they didn't really want the kid to develop. Like, at times they play him, they pull him out, and all that stuff. It's like, you got to develop these guys. You got to let them grow.
Please.
You got to play time. And my point, Wiseman always been like, never really had in this run, a talented big man fall on your lap like this.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he's going to be like the next Kareem or anything like that, but if he can turn, you know, somebody nice for you, you know, you can help, you know, prolong Steph's career a little bit. You know, have so much pressure. You could put the saddle on the young man and ride him, you know, into the next 10 years or so. So I just think, you know, I criticize Steve Kerr for this. Like, you know, can you develop young guys? You know, can you develop a star player? You know, and kind of showing that maybe he can't. You know what I'm saying? That's right. And if you know if you want to come and keep the dynasty intact, and you kind of don't want to develop these young guys, flip those 3 picks to a veteran player. Something. You know, now we kind of look at the Warriors now. You know, Klay Thompson ain't what he was a few years ago. Draymond has kind of really kind of escalated his antics more to the point that I think he's doing more harm to the team than I think he's kind of, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, that he's not real self-aware to. He thinks that, and he's kind of like in his own way, and I'll say not his own way, but I think it's like he never really been punished until he got suspended earlier this year.
Yeah.
So, you know, the Jordan Poole incident, you know, they're trying to throw him under the bus while their season was bad last year, which I think I always said that's a cop-out.
Yeah.
And I think Draymond should never been brought back, but then, you know, he got a $97 million contract out of it. So, so is the dynasty gone? We'll wait and see. I mean, they didn't make no moves really at the trade deadline, so I really don't know what they're going to do in the offseason. Klay Thompson's up for a contract, but you really don't want to give him that contract because he really ain't been up to snuff this year.
Right.
So,
right.
And I think, you know, they had a way out of Draymond this past offseason, and you could save that money for elsewhere. So I just don't know what the mindset is. I understand keep that core together that's been your money bag, but sometimes you got to cut bait sometimes.
And it's true, man. You hit it on the head, Davison. You hit it on the head, brother. And you know it's crazy. Look at you brought that up, man. Jen B in the chat said, I will forever remember the miracle with Cleveland at the end. Clee, CLE at the
That's what they call it.
Best night of sports of my life. You remember that night, Davis? Remember that night?
Man, the Warriors shot themselves in the foot that game. This bad passes from Steph, all that. That was the Warriors shot themselves in the foot on that one. But
hey, these Cleveland fans ate that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, man.
They sure did. They gonna live with that for the rest of their lives. And they don't care about winning another title, maybe except for the Browns. But that right there, I don't blame them.
I feel you, man. So real quick, Davis, I got a couple more questions for you, brother, before we're out of here, man. But real fast, man, look, All-Star break is coming. This is it. Coming up on Sunday, we got the All-Star game, West versus the East. We're not doing the LeBron versus Giannis no more. All-Star games are just playing with that right now. I think the MLB All-Star game was the only thing that was left that was meaningful because the winning team was the World Series host for that conference. They took that
I like
out.
that idea.
Yeah, now they took that out, and it's like, okay, so, but it's baseball. Not saying anything bad can happen. It's a crazy game, but what I am saying is it's not, super duper crazy physical, body on body kind of physical, So, I mean, it's usually still a pretty good game. The NHL, I think they won. They made it to a 3-on-3. They made an amazing All-Star game, the All-Star games out of that. That was cool. The Pro Bowl is the biggest joke I think I've ever seen in my entire life. I fought for so long. Because back when I was growing up in the 90s, man, it was an honor to play in the Pro Bowl. Guys like Jerry Rice, guys like Barry Sanders, they went all out. They didn't care. It was an honor. And it was at the end of the season after the Super Bowl. That was the stupidest thing in the world, moving that thing to the week before Super Bowl. And now it's dodgeball and all these little games. There were some cool games back. I remember seeing a guy that motivated me, man, the great Larry Allen, from the Cowboys, benching 42 reps. I wanted that when I was a kid, and now I'm powerlifting. You know what I mean? So it's just, and I don't know. And then now it's flag football, like Terrence is here in the chat. Look, man, it's just gone into complete garbage. The NFL's
even the 40-yard dashes and stuff like that back in the day.
Exactly. Those were fun, man. This was good. It was great stuff. Now it's just falling apart. What do you think about the NBA All-Star break, man? The dunk competition is still there. We're still having some of these things, which is great. The game itself is, 195 to 182 or whatever. It's just no one wants to play defense, but it's still a good game. It is physical, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes guys don't want to play defense. Overall, kind of a two-parter here. Number one thing, what do you think about going back to the East-West format? Do you think they found something there? Do you think that the All-Star break is even good anymore with the NBA? And then, hey, while we're on the topic, who are you picking?
Going back to East-West, I'll answer that first. I'm okay with it. You kind of look, if we discussed the rosters, we look at the rosters, man. You can tell the size difference in the West compared to the East. When they say Julius Randle's gonna be out of the game and stuff like that, it's like, God, who are they gonna get to replace him? And then it's they put Trey Young and Scotty Barnes there. I was like, ooh, I was like, no size in there. Scotty Barnes ain't no little dude. He's 6'9", 6'10", but he's tall and lanky and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But being up in Indianapolis, I had family up there. I thought about going up there, but I looked at some of those tickets like, damn, y'all charging too much for what y'all trying to do. So I neglected not going to that. But the All-Star break, you don't have the pop in the names right now. They're trying, the 3-point contest between Steph and Sabrina. Mm-hmm. Tonight. Also, what you mentioned about the dunk contest. Matt McClung, he has a name, but it's like through diehard basketball names, not like the casual viewer that you trying to pull for. Granted, yes, Jaylen Brown is in it, but do the casual people really know Jaylen Brown like that? So I think the casual audience, you kind of lost that a little bit. You kind of lost that casual audience. A LeBron not doing it years ago kind of really stopped some of the younger names and doing them.
Right.
kind of compared to years past.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think the casual guys like, well, I really don't know who these guys are and who and what's the G League and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where we at with the All-Star game. Who I got winning the All-Star game? Give me the West because how stacked they looked. But I expect a big showing out of Tyrese Halliburton being in Indy and all that stuff. He might try to push for MVP in that game.
I agree. I think that'd be cool, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. It should be some fun here, brother. I guess I know it's gonna be. It should be something, That's all there's to it. I know we kind of ran up on time here today, but real quick, man. We got a few moments here left, man. Let's get on into a little bit of college basketball, man. March Madness is creeping up on us real fast here.
Mm-hmm.
Who is UConn? 22-2. Where did this team come from? I remember a couple of years ago. Oh, actually, it was like 10 years ago when the women's and the men's team from UConn won. That was a special year for them. But Purdue, wow, this team came out of nowhere. Currently number 2. Houston, excuse me, where are Duke and North Carolina? And I'm sorry, they're not in this top 5. You have Marquette. Wow, where did this team come from? And then Arizona, a team, they just made their way up there right now, man. They are now number 5. They jumped up 3 spots along with Marquette to be number 5. You got Marquette number 4. I mean, this is crazy, man. What do you think this year of the college basketball season?
I think, with the trend of college basketball, we kind of see the teams you just mentioned, Marquette, UConn, a lot of these guys are staying 3 or 4 years and you built this nice nucleus and stuff like that, that these teams will stay in the top 5. Like look at Purdue, for example. Zach Edey could have maybe come out in the NBA draft, but chose to come back. And, they were on top of the rankings for most of the part last year. So not too much of a surprise, about the top 5. Even Marquette, even coming to the preseason, was kind of like a top 10 seed. So none of these teams really surprising. UNC, they were in the top 3, but they lost, last week, and they dropped down a little bit. Kansas, they don't got no depth at all. If the starting 5, ain't beyond the starting 5, they really got nothing else there.
Yeah.
So, I think with just what we see in college basketball in the past few years, the balance of everybody, ain't no real body really sticking out like that. Look at Alabama. I'm a big Alabama fan. Beginning of the year, they were in there in the mix. Some of these big playing these big schools and stuff like that. They lost, but now you come to conference play, and they're one of the better teams in the conference. So it's just like there's just a balance there. South Carolina, Lamont Paris, he's doing an excellent job with them. Granted, they caught a beat down by Auburn, but there's another team, you didn't kind of expect to kind of shoot up like that this year.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, it's balanced everywhere, and you really can't pinpoint a favorite. You can point at UConn, you probably point at Purdue. I say North Carolina still be a championship favorite, but it's not really guaranteed.
No,
you know what I'm saying? And we saw in the championship last year, San Diego State and UConn.
I was so excited. I was so excited for that game, man. You knew damn well San Diego State was going to win it, but it was so exciting seeing them get to the freaking championship. It was amazing, man. So I got to ask this real quick too. Now that we are, on the topic, of course, it's a little bit of men's out the way right there. We're gonna Davis, I'm gonna try to have you on as many Saturdays as I can, man. This is always fun, leading up to March Madness and everything. But women's side, we just saw Caitlin Clark, man, 3,500 points. That's incredible, man. I think 3,528 to be exact. She just went over, man, leading scorer right now all time in women's college basketball.
Yes.
Man. She's amazing. She just made it happen right now. It's crazy, man. They're the number 4 team in the country, which is insane, man. You have South Carolina, who's still up there doing their dang thing, man. Number 1 right now. Ohio State jumped up 3 spots this year. Ohio State's just doing it, man. Women's hockey's getting it right now. Women's basketball is playing hard right now. Stanford currently number 3. They jumped up 3 spots. Iowa, they actually went down 2. I don't know how that happened. Well, the new rankings haven't come out yet. And then, of course, we have Texas that jumped up 2. They're currently number 5. So women's hoops, man. What are you thinking right now as well on the topic?
On women's hoops, I after South, and granted, UConn has injuries in that game, but it's South Carolina's to lose. I'll be honest with you. Don Staley has done her thing the past few years.
Yeah.
I know last year I kind of had them to win the championship then, but you can't, depending on matchups, you can't bet against Kim Mulkey in those type of games and stuff like that. So, but I think it's South Carolina to lose. I'm not saying Iowa can win the championship, but when it come March, Juju Watkins at USC, she is another one who been scoring the hell of the ball this year as a freshman. And I say on the show, like, in between her and Clayton Clark, they should be in the run for AP Player of the Year. I think it's going to go to Clayton Clark, but Juju should get her fair share of votes. How she carried that USC women's team,
without a doubt, man. Man, Juju, she's been getting it, man. USC, man, right now, ladies hoops currently number 10. I don't care. I just want to see them play well this year in the tournament.
I mean, and a lot of solid women out there today. You got the Betts girl out of UCLA. I love watching her play. 6'7", solid. A girl out of Utah. Can't think of her name right now, but but she, it's kind of, at times reminds me of if I had a comp for her, like the Corliss Williamson type. Out of Utah. I can't think of her name. I don't got it in front of me, but I apologize if you see this. Seeing Paige Bucher's back in action, that's been enjoyed to see as well. And she already announced that she's coming back next year. So you got UConn. If they get back folks healthy, you got a chance for maybe a championship run there. And then, of course, you got, LSU. Granted, they ain't as everyone strong as last year, but can't count them out. They're going to be in the fight.
That's for dang sure, man. Yeah, Utah, man, led by Deja Young. They've balled, man. They've had an amazing team. But you're absolutely right, man. This basketball season has been so much fun. And, man, it's been great having you aboard, brother. Man, it's been great, man. I look forward to having you back. Like I said, the defining moment is back in live.
Yes, sir.
Man, I'm so excited to have this thing going on, man. And I'm just ready to rock and roll for the whole year, keeping it going, man. I look forward to having you back here time and time again coming up, man, on Saturdays, talking some basketball. But Davison, brother, where can all these diehards find you, man?
Follow the show's page on Twitter/X at FastBreakIESR, FastBreakIESR. Also, follow my page, Spawn4288. I do another show on the side, The Crooks Process. Follow on Facebook and Instagram. I did post episodes. My episodes will be on Spotify, so do check them out.
Please do, man. I've checked this man out so many times. Great shows as always, man. Lots of great intakes. Always
thank you
up there, man. So check you out, man. We appreciate you and thank you so much for giving us that, man. For blessing us with some basketball this morning. Super excited, man. So thanks again for being a part of this. And hey, man, we look to have you back very soon, man. Take care. God bless. Have a great rest of your day, man. We'll see you back next week, brother.
Thank you, Larry.
Take care, man. All righty, y'all. Davison Crooks, man. Great dude right there. We got more coming, y'all. That's right. We're not done yet. We got plenty more coming up today, man. We have, of course, got a little volleyball action coming up, a little boxing, baseball, softball. We still got a little ways to go. Hope you're excited. Hope you've been having fun enjoying this because this show is always a lot of fun, y'all. So we're taking ourselves a quick break. When we come back, I think you're going to see a familiar face coming up in just a few moments, who you all know and love, IE Sports Radio. So hang tight. We're taking ourselves a quick break. When we come back, final segment. You are listening to the defining moment right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Lentarius Law.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need. So we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That give you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, sports fans? You're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your favorite West Coast Wisconsinite, Bernie Bango, and if you're a cheesehead, come listen to my show, Big Cheese Sports, where we road trip around America's Dairyland, previewing, reviewing, predicting, debating, and digging into all that is Wisconsin sports at the college and pro levels. Join me on IE Sports Radio, Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Standard. Bernie out.
Welcome back, IE Sports Radio listeners, sports fans all over the place. We appreciate you all, man. Welcome back to the final segment of the defining moment for this week. So grateful and so thankful yet again for having everybody here and for sticking around. But 90 minutes almost here on the show, man. Appreciate you all for jumping in the chat room once again. Marcus looks great. We appreciate you, brother, of course. The Crooks process, man. Mr. Davison Crooks, you just saw him right now up on here. Good old Gem B is just raking in the Ohio State stuff, man. O-H-I-O. I mean, you're right. I mean, she's getting it over here. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we got another segment coming up, our final one of the morning/afternoon, depending on where you're listening. We got some, of course, in NCAA volleyball coming up, a little bit of lacrosse coming up actually as well. We are going to have a little bit of boxing news, even though there's not a lot really. We'll be taking care of that and jumping on into some college baseball and softball. A little, really no MLB to get into just yet. Just slight MLB action, and then we're out of here for the day. So we appreciate you all for tuning in. It's been a fun show. If you're listening to the playback on iTunes or wherever we're all over the place, man. Apple, Spotify, my goodness, everywhere. I have a giant list of them that I can name off later, but we appreciate you all so much for tuning in, and let's get it. So with that said, y'all, welcoming in our final guest of the day. We've had some great ones, man. Daryl Kinsey Jr. talking some NASCAR, Adam talking some hockey, Davison talking some basketball. And we actually got a little soccer to get into a little bit as well. And Taryn's going to stay with me for all of that fun stuff. So with that said, of course, ladies and gentlemen, welcome me, IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer, the host of Set Point, the host of the SoCal Spring Sports Show, and of course, he is the co-host of Three and Out College Edition, man. My boy, Mr. Taryn Rodriguez. What's going on, brother? How you doing today, man?
Hey, Larry. Great to be on the show with you. I appreciate you for having me, and I'm ready to do this.
As always, man. It's always great having you, man. Welcome back to Cali, by the way, man. I know you had your little, you had the Texas trip for a while, man. How was that?
It was great. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed visiting my brother, and I enjoyed going to Austin as well.
That's really cool, man. Well, you did it, man. And yeah, that's right, man. The hardest working man here at iSports Radio, man. Keep it going, brother. You're at every freaking, I mean, every time I turn around, you're at something volleyball, man. You got a chance to go to a tournament in Austin when you were in Texas, which is not close to the DFW where you were. That was a good long trip, man. You're always here. Always Long Beach State. You're covering, I mean, SC now. You're covering. You're at the beach volleyball stuff. I mean, you're everywhere. AVP, man. You're covering everything volleyball, man. We appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, Larry. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. So we got to get into some NCAA volleyball, man. I've been promising that on this show for so long. And once again, man, before a lot of you guys came along, man, this show was a lot like this. We, had lots and lots and lots of different guests. Of course, Taryn, you were a part of that era, at one point with this show being on Spreaker, having so many guests and everything on, but these things kind of just, the career got heightened, which is great. But now found a good smooth spot. Having the show return is just awesome. And man, I remember talking those days of volleyball, just a little bit of it. And I'm just glad to have you here now, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun to have you here talking about that weekly or whenever you can join us. But dude, what a freaking season! We're just started, man. We're a month and a half in. Okay, but dude, right now, man, we have some great stuff. Long Beach State is just looking dominant as always. This team right now being as strong as they can be, but UCLA, even with a few losses on that resume right now, on that record, this team is still as potent as can be. Hawaii, Grand Canyon. How about the Grand Canyon Lopes, man? I mean, this has been a fun season so far. I've been listening to Set Point. I've been really getting into a lot of news here for volleyball this year, man, and it's been a fun season so far in men's volleyball. So talk to us, man. So far this year, I mean, and of course, by all means, plug Set Point, man. But what have been your biggest surprises or letdowns so far of the NCAA men's volleyball season?
Yeah, I think Grand Canyon is a pleasant surprise considering they did lose quite a bit to their roster from last year, but them being, I think, probably the only undefeated team in NCAA men's volleyball or National Collegiate Division 1 and 2, I think it's pretty impressive that the Lopes have been so consistent this season. They actually did just take down BYU in probably an extended 3-set match, which I found rather impressive. I kept saying that BYU is such a tough place to win at. I also said that Grand Canyon needed to be battle tested. I think they deserve to be in the number 2. I thought they deserved to be number 3 behind Hawaii and Long Beach State. But winning at BYU was so crucial. If they win tonight, I definitely can consider putting them at number 1 in either a media poll or in the AVCA coaches poll. And then you mentioned Long Beach State. Yeah, they definitely have been strong this season. They returned most of their roster. Clark Godbold, Sotir Schiapanis, Aiden Knipe, Mason Briggs, Simon Torwey. They also have other newcomers on the team like Skylar Varga. Well, he was on last year's team, but he missed most of last season. They also have a freshman middle blocker, Lazar Buchkov, who, when he sees the court, he is phenomenal. Like, Long Beach State has a bunch of really talented players. And then you mentioned UCLA. They've had their ups and downs. I mean, 2 of their losses have come in 5-set losses against UC Santa Barbara and Ohio State, with the 5th set being 15-13. They also did lose to Long Beach State last Friday at the Pyramid, but they bounced back big time against Long Beach State, which handed them their first loss. And this has kind of been a running theme for the NCAA men's volleyball scene. All the number 1 teams have at least lost one time. I mean, you had UCLA losing to Ohio State, and then Ohio State the week after lost to Penn State twice, albeit they didn't have one their top player in one of the matches. So it's been rather an up and down season for the number one teams in the nation. And then you also have other teams that have been on the come up right behind Hawaii, Grand Canyon, and Long Beach State. I mean, Stanford has had their successes, but then they had their struggles because Will Rotman got hurt. Penn State, they're starting to figure things out. They had a big win over Princeton last night. UC Irvine took down Stanford on the road. Stanford is a somewhat tough place to win at, but having to travel from Irvine all the way up to Northern California is no easy feat. And then Loyola of Chicago, they're starting to get together in MIVA play or Midwestern Intercollegiate Volleyball Association play. We just call it MIVA or MIVA. So there have been a lot of surprises, and I really think that this NCAA men's volleyball season has been nowhere near short of dramatic. I think that this is the whole anybody can win the championship this season. And the national or the NCAA tournament is going to be held at Long Beach. So it's a new format too. 5 automatic qualifiers from the SIAC conference, the MPSF, the Big West, the EIVA, and the MIVA. So it's no longer 4 automatic qualifiers, it's 5. And then there are 3 at-larges instead of 2, which I think definitely helps out other teams to get into the postseason, so long as they have a good resume. I mean, the Big West is definitely a strong conference just because all of their teams are ranked, and they have 3 teams in the top 10 and soon possibly top 5 if UC Irvine shoots up the rankings if they take down Stanford again. But all in all, I'm really loving this NCAA men's volleyball season, and I can't wait to see what happens. We're 7 weeks in, and honestly, it's just going to keep getting better and better as conference play continues to continues to go forward.
I'm loving it, Taryn. No, dude, this is fun, man. I mean, look at today's games, Taryn. I mean, UCLA and Pepperdine square off in just a couple of hours. That is going to be fun. You know, the number 4 team right now currently taking on this amazing team. I think this year has been put together. Pepperdine, man. You know, I've heard you talk about Pepperdine for years now on Set Point, but I feel like this year, man, they're really. I mean, this has definitely been. I mean, at least in my opinion, one of their like really good seasons of the last couple of years. But you know, you have UCLA and Pepperdine going on today, which is really cool. Grand Canyon and BYU, dude, this right here is must-see volleyball. You know, these 2 teams going head-to-head. You brought up already UC Irvine and Stanford. So I mean, these matches. Talk to us. Okay, so I wanted to bring this up because that was a little segue into this big topic here. Well, I wouldn't say huge, but a fun little topic that I thought up. Because volleyball, okay, so there's how many games in the season, Taryn, for Ben?
How many games?
Yeah.
It varies depending on a team's schedule. But like I said, we're in week 7. I want to say there's like maybe 13 weeks, and then you got the postseason week with like conference tournaments, and then you got the NCAA tournament, which is just one full week. It's a Tuesday, and then Tuesday the quarterfinals, which is all day. Thursday the semifinals, and then the national championship is on May 4th.
See, and look at that. And okay, for those of you who don't know, okay, a lot of you, of course, bigger fans of women's volleyball because women's volleyball is a lot bigger. That tournament is gigantic. There's more teams. But for those of you who aren't familiar with men's volleyball, guys, it's not that big. There's only a good handful of teams around the country. I'm going to say a good strong handful, but not like the women's teams. The tournament is only like what? I think a first round bye and like freaking 5 teams or 4 other teams, or no, I'm sorry. I think it's the first round bye and then 1, 2. So I mean, it's seriously. I mean, you know, correct me please there, Taryn, but
format
it's not
changed. It's 8 teams, and there's not going to be a bye. It's going to be
good.
There's only going to be 8 teams, and then it's all just going to be in one round or on one day, which is probably going to be Tuesday, April 30th, and then May 2nd is the semifinals, and then May 4th is the final. It's going to be on Saturday, and like I said, the semifinals are going to be on Thursday. And I'm hoping to be at that tournament for the most part.
That is awesome, man. Looking forward to that.
It's at Long Beach State, by the way, the pyramid.
Oh, that's so cool. The pyramid. Well, dude, look, right now with such a significantly smaller tournament than the women's, right now in women's and men's basketball, much like how women's volleyball is, it's a big giant tournament where there's a little room for breath. If you lose here, you lose here. That sucks. That might affect your seeding, but you're probably still going to get in. Taryn, how crucial is right now? We're a month and a half in. You can say we're about halfway through the volleyball season, men's volleyball season right now. And Taryn, at this point in time, speaking of how crucial these games are, conference play right now, some of these teams are going back and forth. Like I said, only a handful of teams get in. Okay, a handful of a handful. Darren, how crucial is it right now? I mean, explain to everybody who hasn't been into men's volleyball before. Explain how crucial this is. How bad can a loss to a top-ranked team derail you? Or honestly, will it even really matter much? I mean, as of right this minute, how crucial are these victories for these teams to land a spot in that tournament in just a month and a half away?
Well, the conference play is pretty much divided into the regular season conference and then the postseason tournament. You could be probably the worst team in the conference, and then if you win that conference tournament, you're in the big dance, and that could be a big bid stealer. And for conference play is only like 2 weeks old, as the MIVA kicked it off, and now every conferences are starting to dip a toe in not just the MIVA, but the SIAC, the EIVA, with some nice matches this week with Princeton and Penn State. Last night we had George Mason taking down NJIT in 4, and then the MPSF had some good matches, obviously with Grand Canyon and BYU. USC won twice against Concordia Irvine, and then, like you said, UCLA is taking on Pepperdine in round 2. It's basically a 2-week format, as for the most part, most of these teams sometimes face one another in the same week, and then sometimes if for the MIVA, they might face each other twice in the same week at one spot, or they'll play one another in one spot, and then they'll have to go to another place, or they'll have to just stay home, or kind of like the Big Ten does it. But for the most part, conference play, we've only scratched the surface. And again, what matters is the conference tournament, because this happened back post-COVID in the men's volleyball season of 2021. Hawaii was undefeated. They were the number 1 seed of the Big West, and they were actually hosting the Big West Conference tournament. And then they were upset by UC San Diego of all teams, and that was probably the most mind-blowing. But unfortunately, that UC San Diego team didn't make it into the NCAA tournament, as they wound up losing to UC Santa Barbara in the Big West Conference tournament finals. And Santa Barbara was able to get in, and the format back then was still 6 teams get in and 4 automatic qualifiers, with the likes of the MIVA, the EIVA, the Big West, and the MPSF. And then there were 2 at-larges in the Conference of Carolinas and Belmont Abbey, and then Hawaii was the other at-large. So would UC Santa Barbara have gotten in had they lost to like a Hawaii team? I can't really say, just because the committee is iffy, and I can't speak for the committee, and I don't envy the committee for having tough decisions for at-larges. But to get back to your question, I will say the conference tournament is what truly matters. And again, as long as you're playing your best volleyball there, you definitely have a shot. And volleyball comes in like peaks and valleys. Sometimes you have your great weeks, sometimes you have your low weeks. It's just all about playing your best when it truly matters. And I think that's what it really boils down to. You mentioned Pepperdine playing UCLA. Well, UCLA went undefeated in conference play, and they wound up running the table in the MPSF tournament. So you have that right there. And I like how in certain tournament formats are so weird. Like the EIVA, whoever wins the regular season gets to host the conference tournament. The MIVA it has a whole new format. Whoever is the highest ranked seed at the end of the quarterfinals, they get to host the semifinals and championship. The MPSF is a varied spot. It's going to be at USC. And then the Big West is a varied location, as that's going to be hosted by Hawaii. So there you have it right there.
Yeah, love it, man. And definitely got some amazing volleyball coming up ahead of us, man. If you guys haven't checked it out, please do. It is such a great sport. And Terran's got it all for you on set points on Monday evenings, man. The dude brings it to you here live, and he is definitely the guy to go to for volleyball. But Terran, we're getting close to the end of the show here, man. And I just want to do our little, at the end, little sprinkles, a little dabble on all of these different little sports here. So, a little bit of boxing news, man. We got our boy up in here, Marcus Lowe's great. I'm excited, man. We got some good fights coming up ahead of us. Teofimo Lopez just retained his belt a couple of days ago. Good for him. But looking forward to seeing more of his defenses. Coming up on March 30th, man, Tim Tszyu. This dude is awesome because he's the son of Kasa Tszyu, which I used to watch back in the 90s. He'll be taking on Keith Thurman for Tszyu's actually. So for Tszyu's WBO middleweight championship coming up, that'll be a lot of fun. Also, Devin Haney taking on Ryan Garcia coming up in April in Las Vegas. That is going to be for Haney's WBC junior welterweight title. So excited for that. I mean, Lomachenko and Kambosos are going to go at it coming up in May. It's exciting. We got Fury and Usyk, who should have fought recently, but I think it was because Fury sustained an injury, so he is out. Unfortunately, was out, and we had to push the fight back. So there's a lot of good fights coming up. Actually, I know Joshua will be taking on Nagu, I believe, in a couple of days or next month or something, but I'm not excited no more for no Joshua, man. I'm sorry. I'm not excited to watch Joshua or Wilder no more, man. They done blew it for me. I'm sorry. I'm not even interested no more. I mean, I'm still watch whatever, but Joshua and Wilder should have fought. It should have been done, and I'm just at my end with that. So whenever they fight, cool. But whoever they fight in the meantime, cool. But anyway, so a little bit of thoughts there on the boxing world, man. If you wanted to chime in and throw any of that in there, but we got some soccer actually as well, Taryn. And I got to ask you a question. You've been listening to this show for years. Am I too harsh on European soccer leagues?
No, I don't think you are.
Thank you, Taryn. Because guess what? We already have the winners for some leagues. Okay, I'm sorry, Taryn, but Ligue 1, of course. They're playing today versus Nantes, and I hope I didn't butcher that name. But yeah, they're leading already 50 points in Ligue 1, okay? Leading 50 points over Nice, which is in second with 39 points. We know who's going to win the league, Taryn. We know who's going to win the league. This is why we have playoffs, okay? I'm sorry, but playoffs are the best. So yeah, PSG is going to win their 58,000th title coming up this year probably. Cool. Good for them. You have that happening. Also here in Serie A, I'm very proud of my team, Inter Milan, currently leading the table right now with 63 points over Juventus, who has 53 points at the moment. So pretty happy for that. The Premier League, Darren, this is always a fun battle, actually. Liverpool currently leading the table right now over Arsenal, who has 55, and then Manchester City right behind them with 52, and then right behind them, which is pretty cool, man, Aston Villa. And right behind them, you have Tottenham Hotspur. Now, this is how it should look, man. Competitive teams, I love it. Premier League hardly lets us down. Always great football there. Always great soccer. And then, of course, going to the Bundesliga really fast, man. Of course, we have a top right now, Bayern Leverkusen. And honestly, I'm so happy to see these guys leading the charge because Munich has just been leading forever. They seem to win constantly. So it's kind of nice to see right now Leverkusen with a 8-point lead over Munich, who has currently 58, and then Munich has 50. And then right behind them, of course, VfB Stuttgart right behind them with 46. So, Taryn, once again, a little bit of soccer around the world going into Liga MX as well. They are just a few games into their season in the Torneo Clausura 2024. And right now, man, pretty cool seeing Monterrey leading out right now. They're out front with 14 points. Also, Club America right behind them. Well, actually tied with 14. And then UANL, Los Tigres, actually right behind them with 14 points. Actually, they're not behind. They're all tied 14 points. Cruz Azul right there with 13 points in fourth. And then currently, the Panthers, UNAM, Las Pumas, they are with 12 points right behind. So, Taryn, a little bit of soccer action there. But as we dip into the MLS, Taryn, is there any reason to get excited for the Galaxy this year?
Maybe they're under new management. That's for sure. Chris Klein is gonzo.
I'm just so upset with how the Galaxy has played, But this year, man, kicking off. I mean, the season's we're on the cusp of a new season right now, man. Getting ready to go. LAFC, of course, being dominant as they are. The Galaxy just falling down the toilet as they've been. The NWSL season, of course, coming on up shortly. As well after that, and they believe April. So, I mean, Taryn, lots of cool stuff to look forward to. But this year in the MLS, man, what are you looking forward to in MLS soccer?
Well, one thing is certain. I'm interested to see how LAFC springboards off the previous 2 seasons. Last year, they made all the way to the MLS Cup Championship. They wound up losing to Columbus, which obviously was a heartbreaker. I thought they did not play their best soccer particularly in the first half. But remember, they've made it back to back-to-back MLS Cup championships. So I really want to see how LAFC can build off that. I think they definitely have a super team going, and that's kind of what makes them the big bully or the bad guy of the MLS. So I really want to see how LAFC responds to some of their departures, some of their new additions. I really think that they definitely have something going for this season. And then looking at the Galaxy, they can only go up from here. I really think they do have the potential. And the MLS has always been an up and down. Like sometimes you have some of your better teams losing. I think we had St. Louis City.
Yeah.
It's such a long name.
I know.
It's a mouthful of a name, but we had St. Louis falling to Sporting KC in the first round. Correct me if I'm wrong. And we also had LAFC knocking off Seattle on the road, which I thought was a good thing.
Yeah.
And we have those 2-game series. I don't want to butcher the pronunciation, but I really like that format. It no longer is a whole one and done game, and it gives every team a chance in the first round of the MLS Cup playoffs. And I think it's a great format just because if you lose a game, it's not the end of the world, or you don't have to go to penalty kicks. Basically, it takes the score from the first game and then the score from the second game, adds them all up, and whoever has the most in regards to both of those games advances. So you have that format going on. And back to the Galaxy, I really hope that they don't stink up the joint. I really hope that their rivalry games against LAFC in El Tráfico is quite special.
Yeah.
I really want to be competitive and special. And something that I really want to see is I want to see how some of these teams basically do in these mid-season tournaments. I know we have the NBA when it comes to their mid-season tournament, but we get a lot of mid-season tournaments when it comes to the MLS and their teams. And something I also wonder is how much do these mid-season tournaments affect them for better or for worse? Because I remember LAFC managed to make it to the championship of one of the bigger mid-season tournaments, and then once they lost in the finals, I don't remember the team. I think it was Tigres, but
yeah,
when they lost in that final of the mid-season tournament, they just went on a little bit of a slump, and that's why that's what I call tournament hangovers. And it could be for better or for worse. Sometimes you could win a tournament and then you could just slide on a slippery slope when it comes to that. And sometimes maybe mid-season tournaments can be a bad thing just because they could basically drain you and put your players at risk for injury. So there you go.
It is so true, Taryn. No, man. But with that said, brother, that man, I'm so excited for the season coming up here, man. And of course, last but not least, we wanted to dip into a little bit. I know we're going to say lacrosse today, but we gotta, pump it on that a little bit. We're coming up on 2 hours here. We gotta head on out, but it's been fun, man. It's been fun for softball. So far, current top 5: Oklahoma at 4-0, Tennessee at 3-0. We have Texas at 5-0, Georgia at 5-0, and Florida State at 4-1. Just great stuff so far right now in the early on season for softball. They're just getting underway. with all of the smaller little tournaments that they're playing. And then of course the men's baseball season, man, always a treat. That just got underway actually, and we are, I think, just underway this past week. So super excited. Very, very, very ready to go for this. I just started yesterday, actually. So really, really, really excited for all these teams coming up here, man. But Taryn, it's been real, brother. I mean, seriously, man, thank you so much for being here, man. And like I said, I'm looking forward to having you back on here a lot, as much as, I mean, we got 3 and Out, of course, that we do every single Saturday all throughout the season, man. 3 and Out college editions. So with that said, man, where can all these diehard fans find you, man?
You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Rodriguez1. For my volleyball content, follow at set_point.ie. And on Instagram, you can follow Setpoint on that platform at set_point.iesr. So there's that right there. And also SoCal Supreme Sports Show can be followed at SoCal Show IESR.
Man, as always, brother, it is just great stuff having you here, man. Check out all these awesome outlets for Taryn, man. He's a great dude. Appreciate you being here, man, today and sharing some of your knowledge. Look forward to having you back very soon, brother. Thanks again. Take care. God bless. Have a great week, and we'll have you back on here soon, man.
Sounds good, Lee. Thank you very much. See you soon.
Okay, brother. All right, y'all. Taryn Rodriguez, man, it's about that time to cue that music, man. But it has been a fun one today, hasn't it? 2 hours, y'all. 2 hours. Oh my gosh. Maybe I should put the show up on Saturday morning and Sunday mornings, man. And just, I don't know. I mean, it's a lot. I know it's a lot, but man, it's been fun. And I am super excited for the future of this show. It was dead in the water for a while, but trust me, it's back with a fury, man. Big ups and thank you to all my guests. Man, I had a guest for every segment today. It was awesome, man. Daryl Kinsey Jr., of course. We had Mr. Adam Karnick. We had Mr. Davidson Brooks and Mr. Taryn Rodriguez to finish it off, man. That was a lot of fun. Appreciate you, Bruce, for jumping on in here, man. The host of our Heart of Texas Sports Show, man, covering all things with DFW. As always, a big up to this guy right here and all he does. Check out his channel right there at DFW Sports Rap. Our boy Marcus looks great, man. Always bringing it here on Gloves Off on IE Sports Radio, man. Bi-weekly show on Sunday mornings. You don't want to miss it, talking all things boxing, man. Taryn Rodriguez as well, man. That was a lot of fun just having him up on here, talking about all these diehard sports, man. Or, sorry, talking with diehard sports fans about all these awesome sports, man. So we appreciate you guys all. Jen B up in the chat room today. Thank you so much for being here as well. I mean, it's been fun, man. Adam Karnick, Ralph Calise, of course, over there, I think shoveling snow. I don't know what he's doing right now, but it's been fun, man. And we appreciate you guys all once again for just being here. You guys are amazing. It's been awesome. And thank you for all of that sports input, y'all. It's been a fun one. Once again, big ups to our sponsor, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Delicious beef jerky, y'all. Remember, this beef jerky has it all, tons and tons of protein, because, well, that's what we do, baby. That's right, man. The official jerky of not only IE Sports Radio, but of the 2022 Lake Elsinore Storm. That's right, y'all. The singular affiliate of the San Diego Padres, man. Delicious premium brisket beef jerky. Gluten-free options here, man. Contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, low in sugar, and high in protein. Planet Jerky, y'all. The jerky that's on a whole other planet. Also, check out Cecilia B, of course, my beautiful wife. Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Check her out. Instagram at Seal the Deal _Wax Seals. Also on Facebook at Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Show some love there, man. Check us out, IESportsRadio.com, because that's where you want to go for all of the goodies. There's all kinds of great things there, man. Check out all of our shows, all of our hosts. Learn more about us. Be involved. Jump on our shows. It's whatever y'all want to do, man. We're here for it. Join our community. Join our forum. Chat about our blogs. We got blogs up there. Big up for Mike Pat, man, doing it all there. If you want to rock some iSports Radio gear, man, we're here for it. We got iSports Radio gear right here at iSportsRadio.com/shop. Almost 10 years in the process, man. We appreciate you guys so much for this. And it has been an amazing show today and just a great run, man, here at iSports Radio. And we are just heating up, man. So we're so excited for what's to come. So many great things coming our way, man. Be ready. We're under 100 days to go for the 10th year anniversary. Hope you're ready for that. And there's so much more to get on into. So, man, Daytona week. Enjoy the race, y'all. Daytona 500 coming on up this weekend. It's going to be a blast. Also, we got, like I said, man, we got so much more coming up every Saturday here on The Defining Moment. Join in. It might be a two-part show coming up Saturday morning, Sunday morning for just an hour, so I don't keep you on every 2 hours on one day. But whatever it is, y'all, always welcome once again. If you want to be a guest? Let me know, man. Of course, you can follow me up over there via THCHEMW53. Once again, y'all, all glory to God. I'll see y'all next week, man. Until then, take care, and as always, God bless.